Imagine waking up to a truth that stings. Most people aren't living there, just delaying the inevitable. Every day, you roll out of bed, reach for your phone, and drown in a sea of notifications, scrolling past lives you'll never touch, comparing your unfiltered reality to someone else's highlight reel. You get dressed, maybe grab a bite, maybe skip it, and glide through the hours like a shadow trapped in a loop. Before you know it, the day's gone, not lived, just spent. Another 24 hours slipped through your fingers, lost to routines that feel safe but suffocate your soul. We tell ourselves there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll chase that dream, make that change, finally focus. But tomorrow becomes next week, then next month, until years blur into a haze, leaving you wondering when life started feeling like a rehearsal instead of the real thing. On my YouTube channel, WisdomWavesAura, we dive deep into these truths, peeling back the layers of distraction to uncover what it means to truly live. The ancient philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." He wasn't wrong. Time doesn't slip away because it's cruel, it slips because we let it. We hand it over, minute by minute, to habits that drain us, to people who dim our light, to fears that keep us small. You already know what's stealing your life. That endless scroll on your phone, the toxic relationships you tolerate, the excuses you lean into because change feels like a cliff. Cutting those things out feels like losing a piece of yourself. But what if it's the opposite? What if letting go is the first step to waking up? Transformation doesn't bloom in comfort, it sparks when you're cornered. When you're so tired of your own stories that the pain of staying the same outweighs the fear of starting over. You've felt it, haven't you? That hollow ache. After a day you can't even recall. A cycle of mindless tasks. A quiet voice whispering, "You're meant for more." At WisdomWavesAura, we explore how to silence the noise and listen to that voice, turning whispers of potential into a life of purpose. You weren't born to scroll, reply, repeat. You weren't built for numbness or autopilot. You were made for presence, for depth, for a life that lights you up. But meaning doesn't just show up. You have to chase it, fight for it, claim it every single day. It starts with facing yourself, not the mirror's reflection, but the one in your mind. That raw, honest part of you that knows when you're hiding, when you're wasting time, when you're dodging the hard stuff. You think one more video, one more distraction, will fill the void. You think avoiding silence will shield you from the truth. But that silence, that discomfort, it's the doorway to a life that's real. On WisdomWavesAura, we talk about embracing that discomfort, using it as a compass to guide you toward what matters most. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's not about fear, it's about clarity. Death isn't some distant shadow. It's a constant companion, reminding you that every moment counts. The sooner you feel that truth, the sooner you stop drifting and start living. You don't need a grand epiphany or a perfect plan. You need to wake up to the small moments, the minutes you waste waiting for motivation, the hours you spend half present, the choices you make that trade your future for fleeting comfort. This isn't about hustling until you collapse or chasing some idealized version of success. It's about choosing intention, choosing effort, choosing to show up for your own life. WisdomWavesAura is all about those choices, practical steps to break free from autopilot and build a life that feels alive. Look around. Most people are sleepwalking, even with their eyes wide open. They're lost in thought, trapped in craving, paralyzed by fear. They've built lives around avoiding discomfort, but discomfort is the signal, the spark that points you toward growth. What if you leaned into it? What if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started acting from discipline? What if you stopped wasting energy on things you can't control and started building what you can? You don't need more time, you need more intention. One day, this version of you will be gone. Your younger face, your current habits, your familiar excuses, all of them will fade. The only question that will matter is what you did with the time you had. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So, what are your habits shaping you into? Every small choice stacks up. Macro button run macro. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back, but every moment you reclaim is a piece of yourself returned. On WisdomWavesAura, we share tools to help you reclaim those moments. From mindfulness practices to strategies for cutting out distractions. The ascendancy doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. You don't need to overhaul your life in a single day. Start small, notice the habits that dull your spirit, ask yourself harder questions. Build a life you'd be proud to look back on. The clock isn't waiting, and the life you want won't happen by chance. It happens when you decide to stop coasting and start being real. The most insidious thing about wasting your life is that it doesn't feel like waste at first. It feels like just one more scroll, one more day of the same routine, one more week of telling yourself you've got time. But it creeps in, the detachment, the numbness, the blur of days. You start living like time is infinite, postponing your purpose, shrinking your potential to fit what's comfortable. Comfort isn't peace. Avoidance isn't freedom. Most people aren't exhausted from doing too much. They're drained because they're doing too little of what sets their soul on fire. Once you feel that truth, you can't unsee it. you can't go back to autopilot. You realize your peace was never in the easy path, it was buried under the noise you used to escape. Yourself? WisdomWavesAura is here to guide you through that realization, offering insights to help you step out of the fog and into a life that's yours. You begin quietly, deliberately, not with a loud declaration, but with a decision. A shift to stop. Being half Levi Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." The challenge isn't knowing how it's having the courage to act when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient, when no one's cheering you on. You don't get a warning when time runs out. You just get now at this moment to make sure it wasn't wasted. Not every day needs to be extraordinary, but every day can be intentional, real, yours. The quietest regret is the one that hits when it's too late to start, when you realize the life you wanted was waiting for you to show up, not for luck, not for a perfect future, just for you. So stop wasting your life. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's sacred. One day, it won't just be a quote, it'll be your memory, your legacy. Make it worth remembering. WisdomWavesAura, we unpack these ideas with practical advice, meditations, and stories to inspire you to live with intention. It's not about chasing endless productivity or burning out in pursuit of some unattainable ideal. It's about waking up to the moments that matter, cutting out what dulls your spirit, and building habits that align with who you want to be. Every choice you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. The distractions, the mindless scrolling, the fear of failure, the comfort of routine are like smudges that blur your masterpiece. But every intentional act, every moment you choose presence over autopilot, sharpens the picture. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You don't need forever. You need now. WisdomWavesAura is your guide to making now count, with content that challenges you to question your habits and embrace the discomfort that leads to growth. The truth is, life doesn't owe you meaning. You have to create it. It's in the small acts of courage, saying no to what drains you, saying yes to what scares you, choosing to show up fully for the people and passions that light you up. It's in the quiet moments of reflection, the decision to pause and ask, is this who I want to be? It's in the discipline to keep going when motivation fades. On WisdomWavesAura, we share strategies to cultivate that discipline. From journaling prompts that spark self-awareness to mindfulness exercises that ground you in the present. Life isn't a dress rehearsal, it's the main event. Every day you spend half asleep is a day you don't get back, but every day you choose to live with intention is a day you claim a piece of your true self. Stop waiting, start now. Your legacy isn't something you leave behind, it's something you build every day. Make it one you're proud of. Subscribe to WisdomWavesAura for weekly doses of inspiration, practical tools, and the nudge you need to stop wasting your life and start living it.